Hello and welcome. This is a guidance video for Year 9's the Lesson 2 that I have organised for you for week 4 in chemistry. So this is a lesson that's a little bit practical based, and it's based on a practical that you need to be studying, which is a practical technique called titration. Now, the section in your textbook that you'll need to open up to is section 11.6, making salts. So the first thing that you need to do is find that section in your textbook. So pause the video and go get your textbook. Okay, so I'm now assuming that you have your textbook, and on the right hand side of that section you will see two sections. You'll see starting with an alkali, soluble base, and the steps in making sodium chloride. So those are the two sections that are the most important ones we'll be focusing on in today's lesson. So the learning outcomes for today are that you'll all be able to name appropriate apparatus for the measurement of volumes, including burettes, pipettes, and measuring cylinders as well. Like most of you, to be able to proficiently describe and explain methods of purification by the use of titration and crystallization. Some of you will be able to go further and suggest suitable purification techniques given information about the substances involved. And as an extension, what you will be able to do is you'll be able to come up with a method, a step-by-step 6-point method for describing the synthesis of sodium chloride. Now, this is going to be really useful for you for an essay type question, essay style questions. Right, okay. So that's where we're kind of heading towards, because this is a very common question that comes up in the written section, and essentially what happens is they say to you in one line, describe the synthesis of sodium chloride using suitable alkalis and acids, and they ask you to list all of the equipment. They may ask you to do a little bit of safety, but the equipment safety is very little. What they want to do is they want to give you lots and lots of marks for the correct steps, and the most essential thing that you need to ensure when you're giving that method, and this is something that I will be looking out for in particular with one of the pieces of work that you submit, is that your experiment works. Your experiment should be able to give you crystals of sodium chloride, and they have to be crystals and not just powder. Now, more on that later on in the video. So how do we do this activity? The first thing that you'll need to do is you'll need to read through that textbook page, the second section, 11.6, starting with an alkali and also the steps in making sodium chloride. What I'd then like you to do is I'd like you to click open the Year 9 titration making salts quiz. Now I'm just going to put this on edit form so I'll be able to show you exactly what it is that's coming up. Now, there is a titration video that you will need to watch. Now, the link for that video is here. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to copy and paste that into a search engine. I'm going to pause the video there. So I have to pause the video there because what happens is if I allow the video to play, YouTube doesn't like that and it says it's copyright infringement. So I'm just going to pause it there so you know what it is. And when you watch the video, what you'll need to do is at various sections, and I've placed the times for the sections at the top of your questions, you'll need to answer those questions. So the first question is, what chemical is selected first in the video? So you'll need to give a very short answer for that. Give your answer as a volume in numbers of centimeters cubed. Some of them are multiple choice questions, some of them are short answer questions, so have a look at that. Make sure that you're not tackling this quiz without watching the video. It's really important that you complete this assessed task in the correct way. So watch the video. The teacher is there and she's demonstrating this titration to you. It is quite important that you follow this video and not any other titration video that you may find on YouTube. Even though it is at GCSE, or it may be labelled at GCSE, even at A-level, the problem is that your textbook shows that the alkali is in the flask that's down here, and the acid is placed over here. Now, other videos may actually have that switched around. Now, if they do have that switched around, this is colourless at the start, and when you start adding the acid, it becomes purple. So it's really important that you follow the video that I have asked you to. So complete the questions, go through each and every single one, and scroll through, and then what you'll do is you'll get to a stage where you then have to answer the following questions on section 11.6 of your textbook. So, having read your textbook, the next task for you to complete is you'll need to complete the last section of that quiz in the Google Classroom so that I can assess your complete understanding of this material. So read the paragraphs and then answer the questions. The first one is a multiple choice. It's what is the purpose of a titration? And then the second one is for carrying out a titration, the burette and pipette are used rather than measuring cylinders. Why? Now I've been quite sneaky in this. I've actually put a little test to see if you can recall correctly the difference in precision and accuracy. So choose wisely there. And then the final question is you're asked to make the salt ammonium nitrate. Which reactants would you use? So I'm looking for correct answer there. Now again, the answers to this question you should be able to formulate from the second page of section 11.6. So have a look, read everything carefully, the answers are there, and you should be able to complete that. Now the final task that I've asked you to do is this. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to open up the Google document, titration diagrams. Now this is a Google document, so all you'll need to do is just click on the document itself, okay? But once you open that, you'll see that there is a large image, and that image is like a cartoon image of everything that's going on in the experiment that you have been studying. Now you'll see that the blue arrow shows the direction in which the experiment's being taken, but there are no steps. So what I'll need you to do is I'll need you to use the information that is on the second section of 11.6, the second page, which is the steps in making sodium chloride. And in effect, what I'm doing is I'm giving you practice as to how to write this as an extended essay type question. So there are 6 steps, and what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to study those steps, and I'd like you to paraphrase it. I'm going to give you an example. So the first example would be put a suitable volume. These are my own words, e.g. 25 centimeters, and make sure that you use the shortcut for superscript, which is Control plus. Okay, so Control plus full stop, I should say. So Control plus full stop, that gets you the 3 there. There we go. For example, 25 centimeters cubed of your alkali. In this example, sodium hydroxide solution. solution into a conical flask. Okay. All right. So conical flask, and then to measure this out. This is more paraphrasing. To measure this out, use a pipette for greater accuracy. Okay, and then 2 drops of phenolphthalein. There we go. Phthalein are added. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put this in what's called the third person. So a suitable volume, for example, 25 centimeters cubed of alkali, and I'm just going to shorten it just to paraphrase it in further. Sodium hydroxide solution. I'm going to now say is placed, that's in the third person, into a conical flask. To measure this out, use a pipette. So I'm going to paraphrase this, and I'm going to say pipette is used to measure this out for greater accuracy. Okay, 2 drops of phenolphthalein are added. Okay, so that's the first step. Just to start you off, I will leave that in the document. So that's your start. And what I'll need you to do is I'll need you to fill in the other 6 steps. Now, once you've done that, you need to turn that in. And once you've turned that in, I will then be able to give you some voice feedback for reading that. The best amongst you will be able to put this into the third person, so you'll be able to say, rather than have it as a direction like add the acid from a burette, you'll be able to say acid is added from a burette. Okay, so it's a third person. It's like as if it's not you, you're not instructing someone to do it, you're actually watching and then observing and then saying this is actually what has happened. And that is a more kind of like scientifically acceptable way of giving direction to the method. Okay, so I'm working on your accuracy of, I'm working on your literacy as a scientist, and that's a good extension for you because that is the kind of tone of language that you would be expected to use for clear, quality written communication when it comes to extended questions. So best of luck with that. That's pretty much it. Enjoy doing the task, and I look forward to marking some fantastic steps in making sodium chloride and boosting your understanding of titration. Thank you very much for watching, and stay safe.